I just finished an Onkyo M510 amplifier restoration, and before that, I restored a pair of Wilson Audio Watt Puppy 7s. Both of those projects had one thing in common. They both weighed a ton, and I told myself I wasn't going to work on any more heavy audiophile equipment this year. Well, it hasn't really worked out. See, I have this bad habit of finishing a project, selling it, and then becoming immediately interested in what's next. And I talked to one of my friends, the same friend who sold me the Onkyo amplifier, and I told him, hey, I'm actually all wrapped up with everything. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, so keep your eyes peeled. And it wasn't a day later, he said, hey, I have a pair of speakers you might be interested in. And my first reaction was, as long as they're not too heavy, and he chuckled. So he called me up and said, I have a pair of Vandersteen Model 5s. And I've never heard of them before, never seen them before. I figured I'd give them a quick Google search, and they looked cool. They have a neat design. I mean, it's a really cool angle here, and the way this upper frame is all cloth surround on the top half immediately caught my eye. I like the wood veneer that's on the outside, and I like the fact that they have a built-in amplifier for the subwoofer. So sure, these look like really cool speakers. It seems like back in the day, these were super high-end, and nowadays they're down to that like achievable range. So of course I said yes. Turns out, I told myself I wasn't going to work on any more heavy audiophile equipment, and these weigh 180 pounds each. 180 pounds each. I'm not sure why I get myself into this, but I know it'll be fun, even though it'll be insanely challenging, and I'll be kicking myself along the way. As of right now, I don't know much about Vandersteen speakers. I know even less about this particular pair, other than supposedly they worked when they were last taken out of service. It seems like they're in relatively good shape. I'll take you around and show you some of the cosmetic issues I see right off the bat. And I wasn't going to get into a fully in-depth restoration series again, but these seem to be special enough, nice enough, and valuable enough to justify going through it all. And just like the Wilsons, I'm going to completely disassemble these things, go through them, put them back together, refinish them, and try them out in my own HiFi room. So if that's something you're interested in, stay tuned. I'll probably make this a few videos. These will definitely take me a while because there's so much cosmetic stuff to do. And frankly, that's why I'm outside in my garage. The Wilson speakers taught me a lot about the logistics of working on a pair of speakers in my current house. So I used to have a big garage, a big shop, where I would do everything inside the shop. The bodywork, the electronics, the speakers, the crossovers, the whole thing. But now I have this garage, which is attached to my house, and a basement, which requires me carrying everything down a flight of stairs. Thankfully, I have access here in the garage to the basement, but at 180 pounds, did I mention that? There's obviously no way I can carry them down. And even on like a furniture dolly, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I'm actually already thinking about building some type of wooden sled to slide them down the stairs to get them down there. I have a feeling once these are down there, they might not leave. And I don't normally keep equipment. I don't collect it. I just like restoring it and fixing it. But these are the type of things that the logistics of getting them down the stairs are going to be hard enough. Getting them back up again, maybe I'll hire a crane or something. But for now, I'm going to work on these like I plan on keeping them, which I know I've never kept anything before, but hey, maybe this time is different. I'm going to walk around these speakers, go over their condition, and just kind of show off how cool these things are. Right off the bat, the part that caught my attention were these speaker grills. And they pop off. They're just held on with Velcro. There we are. And like the Wilsons, I'm going to set this up. Actually, I'm going to set it over here. Like the Wilsons, the tweeter and the mid-range speakers are stepped back in order to properly time align the high frequencies to the mid frequencies. Somewhere in here, there's a down-firing subwoofer, which I'll get into that later. But this part up here is the cool part. From what I could tell, it's made of like a MDF covered in like a plastic coating that's then painted. Because there's no signs of like anything that's formed this way, but there are signs of everything being sandwiched together this way. And those signs you can see right through here. There's actually some stripes. And right now, in this camera and this light, you can't tell, but there's cracks all along this. And I guess that's to be expected because after all, these are a little bit old. Maybe old's not the right word, but they've seen some heating and cooling cycles just from the weather. And for sure, that'll take its toll on a piece of equipment like this. Now on this other speaker, there we go. This other speaker has much more damage. And this is what I plan on tackling out here before I go too far. And it seems like this type of damage is common to these speakers. So since these are all sandwiched together lengthwise, as things expand and contract, this plastic coating, which is basically like a body filler from what I could tell, how it flakes off, it just loses its elasticity and it chips and cracks. The cracks are common, obviously, but the chip like this is gonna drive me nuts. So my plan is to really disassemble everything. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so much work. Disassemble everything, cut out all the scratches, fill it, prime it, paint each one of these top sections. And it's no wonder this thing weighs so much. I mean, this is so dense. It's just kind of hilariously overkill. But that's the whole point of crazy esoteric speakers like this. And when you look at the speakers in this light, at this angle, again, we're outside, but you get a feel for how cool these are. I mean, just the way this line comes down, the way these are stepped back. When you put the grill on, it hides some of that cool factor, but you can still tell something interesting is going on. And I have a plan. I'm not sure if it'll happen. It's kind of early on in this game yet. You can't see it in this video, but you could actually see through the grill from this angle right here when there's something bright behind it. And how cool would it be to hide some lights in this grill so you actually see the outline of that design up in the top. In fact, the more I talk about it on this video, the more excited I get about this project, even though I'm terrified, only because of how heavy it is. Finally, the last thing to talk about, besides the electrical part of this, which is a whole feat. You can see the cabinets have a little bit different color. There was actually 2 pairs of these speakers in the house where these came out of, which is crazy. And I think this is one speaker from one pair, one speaker from the other pair. Or maybe this pair was over by a window and this one wasn't. Regardless, they seem to be the same vintage. They seem to be in the same condition, but the veneer is obviously two different shades. So as of right now, I don't know what I'm going to do. I would like to just sand this and refinish it, thinking this is real veneer. But depending on how that goes, I might just put new veneer on these and refinish them myself. Again, it comes down to what are my plans for these. Am I really going to keep them, or will I be selling them down the road? And those will be some of the decisions I have to make. I guess the last piece of this puzzle are these big amplifiers. So these amplifiers actually power subwoofers that are inside these cabinets. And without getting too far ahead of myself, the way these have to be set up with an amplifier and a preamplifier and a fancy high-pass filter, they're going to be very complex, and they definitely will require a separate preamp amplifier that will be sensitive enough and accurate enough to drive the mid-range up here and drive a lower signal into the bass. But there's so much more of that to come. Right now, it's just the physical act of getting these apart and starting to work on the cabinets. And that's what I'm going to focus on now.